So have you ever noticed the strain that often comes with trying to make change, trying to force ourselves into doing the thing that hasn't come naturally to us too often? And have you ever noticed how difficult it can be to kind of push that, even to find out, well, what is it that we would be better doing that would get us the result that we need? Well, I'm going to offer you a playful, counterintuitive way to drop all that hyper intention, as Viktor Frankl would call it. You know, that really you're really trying super hard in order to get something. This is a playful, counterintuitive way to drop all that and to be a little bit easier with figuring out what and how to change. And the way to do that is pretend that you're an expert in not getting the thing that you want. So I don't know, it might be you're an expert in not getting a good night's sleep. Or maybe you would put yourself forward as an expert in not getting that project complete, or not finding the friendships that you want. Whatever it happens to be, let's just assume that you're going to be the expert and that the goal is actually not to get this thing. If you were delivering a masterclass on that topic, if you were delivering a masterclass on how not to get a good night's sleep or how not to have a successful relationship, I wonder what that would look like. I wonder what it would look like to teach somebody else how not to get that, to assume that not getting it was actually the goal. And so you would actually deliver this masterclass with all sincerity to try and teach these people in your class how not to get that thing. I wonder what you would advise people to do in order to guarantee that they didn't get that thing. So it's quite a playful idea, really, isn't it? Because it goes against the grain, really, of how we normally try and affect change. But I'm guessing, for instance, that if I were to give a masterclass in how not to get a good night's sleep, I don't know, I would ensure that I was too warm by putting on too many clothes. I would, immediately before I go to sleep, I would think of all the things that most worry me in the world. I would maybe have bright lights on to ensure that, you know, it's really difficult for me to switch off in my brain. I don't know, maybe I'd have somebody stand next to the bed with a pair of cymbals. You know, so we can start looking at how not to get a good night's sleep. And in the playful way of giving that masterclass of how not to get that thing, first of all, it just releases a bit of energy, doesn't it? To be playful with it like that. All that kind of hyper-intention sort of energy goes. But secondly, when you deliver a masterclass on how not to get something, how to guarantee that you don't get something, it leaves a few clues on how you do get it. Because straight away there I'm thinking, okay, if a guarantee of how not to get a good sleep involves being too hot, then I'll focus on getting my temperature right. If not getting a good sleep involves thinking about all the things that worry me, well, maybe I'll think about all the things that I'm thankful for, or that I'm pleased with, or bring me calm or contentment or happiness. If I know that to guarantee not getting a good night's sleep is to leave the light blaring or look at my phone before I go to sleep, then I'll know to turn the light off and maybe read a book instead of looking at my phone. And so when we get playful, not only does the energy change, which is just nicer, but when we do this masterclass to try and teach people how to guarantee that they don't get the thing that you really, really want, it allows you to kind of see in little bite-sized digestible chunks the things within that system of not getting what you want that you could just tweak and you could change and do the opposite of. And so becoming an expert in not getting what you want and teaching that masterclass is a really nice, counterintuitive, playful little exercise that might leave you some clues on what to do instead. So if you like this idea, then feel free to share the podcast with friends and anyone who you think would value it. And you can subscribe to the podcast as well wherever you get them. It's all completely free. If you prefer YouTube, you can go to psychotherapy.com and find the podcast there. And if you'd like to work with me directly, of course, I'm Alun Parry. I'm the director of the Liverpool Psychotherapy practice. And you can find that website at liverpoolpsychotherapy.co.uk. So there'll be another podcast tomorrow. Thanks for listening, and I'll see you then.